Nats have Jake Irvin. He's been very good in his first 2 big league starts, and the first of those was here at Nationals Park. Didn't get a decision, but we thought he might have gotten things off to a pretty good start.
And he is facing Brandon Nimmo to lead off. Brandon, the DH, here in game 2.
2-2 breaking ball hit in the air to left center field. Alex calling the run again, going way back toward the warning track, cutting to his right, makes the catch. Still on the grass in front of the Mets bullpen, and there's one away.
Now here is McNeil.
Back at second base for this one. 1 pitch, hot shot. Dominic Smith, 2 down.
So 2 out and nobody on now. Francisco Lindor 1 for 9 so far in this series. And Francisco pulls one past Smith and down the line. That'll go into the corner. Lindor with an extra base hit. He'll pull in safely at second with a 2-out double. His 13th double of the year. So Lindor has his second hit in the series. And here's Pete Alonso, who's 2 for 8 in the first 2 games.
That's a beauty. Striking out Pete Alonso. Oh, those two may be facing each other for a number of years. All right, next up, the Nats against Max.
Well, Max Scherzer spent 7 years as a Washington National, 92 wins, 47 losses, a 2.8 ERA, a World Series championship. He's thrown 6 1/3 innings in a month. Thomas 2 for 8 in this series. He's reached base safely in 10 straight games. 2-2 to Thomas, and he blew him away with a fastball. And so Scherzer has a strikeout to start his day. His 3,214th career strikeout, 12th all time. Here's Luis Garcia.
3-1 swung on, line drive out of the reach of the diving Pete Alonso. A base hit into right field.
Joey Meneses has driven in a first inning run in each of the first 2 games of this series, but he pops this one up. And McNeil comes together with Alonso, and Pete stays with it to make the catch in fair territory, and that's the second out.
Jeimer Candelario, a couple of walks, hit by a pitch.
And he drives one to right. Marte, though, moves over and makes the sliding grab, and that retires the side. And Scherzer able to put up a 0 in the first inning. A couple of hard-hit balls. Candelario with a scorcher, but Marte makes the play. No score.
Last of the second inning, with the Mets and Nationals scoreless. And Alex Call, the center fielder, will be the batter.
Through that fastball by Call, a 3-pitch strikeout, and that's his second.
That's the fastball that I don't think we've seen a whole lot of this year. Seriously, it's got some extra zip on it right now.
No score, 2 outs. Smith the runner at first.
What an afternoon for CJ already.
Breaking ball hit in the air to right field deep. Marte going back, way back to the warning track, to the wall. It's over him, off the wall and in play. Rounding third is Smith. He's coming home, and he will score standing. And in at second with a booming double off the right field wall is C.J. Abrams. It's his 3rd run batted into the day, his 20th of the season. He nearly hit it out of the park, and the Nationals lead 1-0.
Here's Brandon Nimmo, second time through the lineup for Jake Irvin.
Nimmo flies one along the right field line. Bad angle by Thomas, trying to get there, and he makes the running catch and then smacks up against the sidewall.
Oh boy.
He took a bad angle at first, had to circle in, and at a dead sprint, able to make that catch right before he hit the netting and the low fence.
It's been some really fine defensive plays in this series, both sides.
So first and third, you have Thomas at third, Candelario at first, Alou, and a tapper back to Scherzer his first time.
Curveball hit down to first, handled by Alonso, side retired. Scherzer strands a couple in the third, still 1-0 Nats.
To the fourth, 1-0 lead for the Nationals.
Nationals pitchers have been pitching Pete up and in.
2-2 coming. And he struck him out. Came up and in with a fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Irvin.
That's a big league inning for Jake Irvin right there. He's retired 7 consecutive Mets.
Top of the 5th, the Nationals a 1-0 lead over the Mets.
And the Mets have the leadoff man aboard here in the 5th inning, and it'll bring up Mark Canha.
Marte's going. Canha drives one down the left field line. That's an extra base hit into the corner. Marte will turn third. He'll head in to score. Canha with his 2nd double of the day gets the Mets on the board. The game is tied at 1.
Well, Canha had a couple days off. The Mets can certainly use his bat.
Brandon had 2 hits in the opening game today. 8 hits in his last 18 at bats. And Brandon hits one toward the middle of the diamond. Base hit. Canha around third. He'll come in to score. Pham goes to third. Brandon Nimmo gives the Mets the lead with an RBI single, and it's 2-1 New York. So 2 out. Runners at the corners for Lindor. And Lindor swings and dribbles one. Off the mound comes Irvin. His throw to first, not in time, and a run comes home. And it's 3-1 New York. Not what you're looking for on 3-0. But the squib up the third baseline plates a run, Lindor has his 31st RBI, and the Mets have a 3-run 5th inning. So now you bring Thompson into an absolute mess with the bases loaded. And Beatty takes ball 4, and that'll force in the 4th run of the inning. So Thompson comes in with the bases loaded, throws 4 out of the strike zone. Nimmo trots in to score, and it's 4-1 New York. And now Marte, who got this whole thing started with a soft single to right. And Marte flies one to shallow center, might fall in. On comes Cole and drops for a base hit. Lindor is in, Alonso right behind him. Beatty to third. Marte with a pop fly single drives in 2, and it's now 6-1 New York. There goes Marte. Adams throw to second, goes into center field, and that will enable Beatty to come in and score. And it's 7-1. Marte steals second. Adams throws it into center field. Beatty comes home on the error, and it's 7-1. And Canna drives one up the middle. That's a base hit, and Marte will come in with the 8th run of the inning. The Mets with a smorgasbord in D.C. Canna's 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and the Mets with an 8-run inning. Now Max Scherzer working with an 8-1 lead. Let's see how he fares after sitting on that bench for, what, about 35 minutes?
Swing and a roll at a second. McNeil to his right has it. Throws to first. Close play, but Garcia's out, and that retires the side.
Scherzer's retired 7 in a row. He throws up a shutdown inning. 8-1 Mets after 5.
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Washington, where the Mets out in front of the Nationals 8-1, and we figured that Zach Muckenhirn would get involved.
So now Dominic Smith, who's walked and scored. The Nats' lone run doubled in by C.J. Abrams in the second.
Swing on a little pop-up behind third. Beatty out. Canna in. Canna slides forward, makes the catch on his right knee. And there are 2 men away. Nicely done by Mark Canna.
He's sure-handed. Nice play.
The Nationals have 2 on with 2 out. Bring up C.J. Abrams. Swinging a line drive, base hit left field. Garrett's going to be waved home by Gary DiSarcina. He will score.
C.J. Abrams has 4 runs batted in today. Offensive hero of the completion of the suspended game. And now both RBIs here.
Zach Muckenhirn trying to finish this game off. He had himself an involved 8th inning. Gave up a run, left the bases loaded. We'll try and finish this thing up for New York with a 6-run lead. And the Nats are down to their final out with Dom Smith coming up. In there for a call strike 3, and the ball game is over. The Mets on the strength of an 8-run 5th inning and 5 solid innings from Max Scherzer get a split on the day. They've taken 2 of the first 3 in this series, so they win this one 8-2.